In this video, we'll be examining a couple of bugs that were introduced recently to Discord. This includes problems with the page up and page down functionality, as well as the keyboard shortcut Control plus right arrow, which is part of the navigation keyboard shortcuts within the text editor box. So to start with, let's look at what page up and page down functionality ought to do normally. When reading text, any text, pressing page up or page down should allow you to continue on or read back up the page. And the expected behavior, and what most applications still do, is to scroll nearly an entire visible page of content within that frame. So we're reading this article from the web. The smart money is on advanced surveillance sensors. The Air Force has never mentioned them directly, but everyone seems confident that they're flying. So page up and page down leaves this line still visible on the screen so that we can continue reading fluidly and smoothly. Some web browsers, some word processors will scroll to continue showing 2 or 3 lines of text, but either way, part of the pane is still going to be visible from the previously visible section as we page down and continue reading. Unfortunately, this is not what's happening now in Discord. Discord used to follow this behavior, and it used to leave 3 or 4 lines of text visible as you paged up and paged down. But now we'll notice that this is not the case. Here in this line, we've got a post from user Alleycat. It says, sure, I'm jumping in and out of it. And then below that it says, still haven't found stone of any useful kind. I've died quite a few times. So if we page down here, we should expect to see at least this line, sure, I'm jumping in and out of it, if not also the name of the user if we're leaving 1 or 2 lines here. But that's not what happens. We scroll past that line, so it's no longer on the screen, but we're also not seeing this line, still haven't found stone of any useful kind, which was not visible below the text editor box, in other words, below the visible area of the displayed reading pane. And as we page down, it skips that text entirely. We can't see it at all. So we can't, not only are we prevented from smoothly continuing to read, but also we're missing content. And that same distance is being skipped page up or page down. I had thought that perhaps this had something to do with the zoom levels. So under appearance, we have a zoom of 125% right now. We'll move this back to 100%, but we will see that the same problem is happening. So if we position this, here's a line that I wrote, oh, you and your 1x3 water, okay? So page down, and that scrolls completely off the screen, page up, and it's still off the screen. You can see there's still a smidgen of the line visible there. It's not scrolling an entire line of text height, but about 7/8 of a line of text, and it's still preventing us from being able to read what's there and preventing us from being able to continue reading smoothly. So that's definitely a problem. Move this appearance back, and we can see that for this line here, we're still missing that line, or most of that line, and the white space above that line too. So it's, regardless of the zoom level, it's still having this issue. So this is not expected and non-standard behavior. Obviously this is something broken. The other problem we're documenting today is the use of navigation within the text editing box with keyboard shortcut. So normally expected behavior when one is navigating within a text box like this address bar in Firefox, if we use the arrows, of course, we go 1 character at a time, right and left. But if we use Control and arrow, right arrow and left arrow, it's going to jump 1 word of text at a time, which is convenient, particularly if you're trying to select several words and cut and paste. These keyboard shortcuts allow people to type very rapidly and to edit very rapidly and save a lot of time. Unfortunately, this is also a function that has been broken recently in Discord. The control and left arrow moves to the previous word of text, to the start of that previous word as expected. But control and right arrow is moving to the end of the current word rather than, or to the end of the next word, rather than to the beginning. So if I wanted to go and copy some words, now I'm not just copying the word, I'm copying the white space before the word. So that is non-standard behavior, and almost no application does this. Almost every application in Windows 10 follows the expected behavior of this control right arrow, control left arrow, jumping one word at a time navigation within an editing box. This is tied to a problem with beta feature. Under text and images, we go to text box, preview emojis, mentions, and markdown syntax as you type, beta. It's a nice feature. It allows you to see what's italicized or bold-faced before you send it. However, that is breaking this control right arrow feature. So now, as we turn that off, you can see that the navigation is arriving at the correct position. Unfortunately, there's still a problem here because unlike what we could see in the web browser here, in this text editing box, where there's some punctuation, I'll just add a little punctuation here, commas and periods and so on, it's still jumping to the end of the white space. So it's treating that punctuation as white space and it's going to the start of the next word, or the start of the previous word, control left, control right. In Discord, however, Discord is interpreting that punctuation, now, comma, it's jumping right to the end of the word now, to the start of the white space rather than the end of the white space. And the same with this word before. We put a couple of other punctuation in the middle here. You can see that it's scrolling left one word at a time correctly, but it's not moving back to the right one word at a time correctly. It's getting caught up on that punctuation. So it's going to the start of the white space instead of the end of the white space. So hopefully these issues, this non-standard behavior, what I would call bugs or design flaws, recently introduced, hopefully this will get fixed soon. Thank you for your attention.